Good evening. Lavender Rose here with some more Fright Night stories. Have you ever been on an elevator and pushed the button and thought, am I going to go into another dimension? Is this like a portal to another place? I think most of us don't think that way when we're on an elevator. I have to say, the last time I was on an elevator some years back, I didn't have these thoughts. I didn't know about these things. I didn't really, well, I knew about them, but I didn't think about them. But more and more today, you wonder. And of course, I think we bring all these experiences to ourselves, so the more we, oh no, the bigger chance you have to experience it. Or even the more it excites you, possibly you have a chance to experience it. Not so sure it's always a delightful thing. There is about 4 stories here. And one story, there were these 2 brother-in-laws. It was at Christmas time and they were doing their last minute shopping. He was going for his niece, I think, the guy telling the story. And of course they parked at a parking garage on level 3 and they went into the mall. All was okay. They went to the ground floor, went to the toy store, got what they wanted to get, went to the elevator area, went back up to level 3, and when they got out of the elevator, it was all really dark. Well, of course it's dark anyway, but it was really dark and empty, where before there had been many cars. There was none that they could see. And the darkness seemed to almost, I think they said, like, the guy said, it was like, felt like it was moving. It was like a musty smell. It was not a very pleasant place to be. And he had a really, really not so good feeling. And his brother-in-law first didn't really seem to notice, but they got into the elevator again, went down to the ground floor. And then they saw people waiting at the elevator area. But instead of taking the elevator back up to the 3rd floor, they decided to take the stairs. And guess what? They took the stairs and immediately they found their car. So what happened? Did they go into another place, space where that many things exist supposedly at once, superimposing each other, and it depends on your frequency or whatever as to what you see? Did they go into another, as we call it, dimension, another like timeline shift? Probably. Either that or they were just delusional. Didn't seem to be they would be delusional. So I have to think that was just one of those strange things that happen every once in a while to someone. The next story, there is a girl. I think she said she was about 8 years old when this happened. It was about 2001, and she went on a class field trip to a museum. Oh, how fun and exciting! By the way, I got lost once when I went to a class field trip to a museum. Yeah, everyone left me. I was crying, everything. They came back, but all ended up really well. It's like 2nd or 3rd grade or something, you know. But that was a different story. And this one was a bigger museum than that I was in. Each group, they put them off in groups, and they had, of course, a chaperone for each group, right? And they said, y'all can go around all these wherever to see whatever you want to see, but we're all going to meet back at so and so at lunchtime. And well, blah blah, they did all that, and they were coming back, and they were getting a little bit late for lunch. But I think the lunch thing was, I don't remember if that was supposed to be, I think it was, they were on the ground floor and they're supposed to go up to the third floor or something. Not always looking at my notes here, so I think they were on the I'm going to say they were on the ground floor and they were supposed to go up to the third floor. Anyway, that's what I think I remember. As they were getting on the elevator, a man comes on the elevator. It's dressed in black. Like the Man in Black type of, the black briefcase, the black fedora, everything black. I think there was a little bit of white under, but there was just about all black. And he sort of had his head down and his hat sort of, where nobody could see him. And then she said that he sort of turned around, and that's the only way, with his back to him, that he would put his head up. Now I have to tell you, in this museum, there's only 4 floors. Only 4 floors, she said. And they were going up to the 3rd from the ground floor. Now, they were going, I think the guy came on, I'm not sure if he came on the ground floor, or if he came on the 2nd floor, but they were going up, and they passed the 3rd floor, and they're like, what? Then they went up to the 4th floor, where it should have stopped. But it kept on going. And she said the higher they got up, because they could see all the numbers coming on there, the higher it got, the worse, the gut punch feeling that they felt. At least she could, she did. Almost to nausea. And it kept going and going and going and going. And she said it was like dread taking over. She said it didn't stop until it got to the 50th floor. Now this is a museum that only had 4 levels and now 50. So what up with that? She was afraid when the elevator door opened what she would see. Of course, you can imagine. And she said the elevator door opened. He had dropped this briefcase, I think, and he went down to pick up the briefcase, and he sort of nodded. And she said all she remembers is there was like light or flash or some kind of light out there. It was bright. But she doesn't remember anything else. It was like just poof. And of course by this time, it's like 5 or 10 minutes that passed by. They were already going to be late. It was like a minute till they were supposed to meet for lunch. So, of course at this time, you don't really worry about that. You're just worrying about what? The elevator door shut, and she said it was almost like an instant when they were down to their floor, the 3rd floor. And they were all like scared and freaked out. And they went out, they were saying, oh, we're so sorry, we're late. And they were like, what are you talking about? You're exactly on time. So, that was weird. She said later on, when she was talking about it sometime later on when she was older, to her mom said that you said something about the man said something to you, went down and said something, and maybe he did, but she didn't remember. because she was just little at the time. Maybe she wasn't supposed to remember. Who knows? Or maybe at some point she will remember. You never know. In the next story, there are two girls at the school. They were on their lunch break, and there's an elevator in the school. I'd never had one at school that had an elevator, but you know what? They had 2 levels, so well, you can't walk. I'm just saying. But anyway, the ground level they were on, it was all crowded. There were like 7 girls in line to use the bathroom. So there was another bathroom upstairs. Oops. See, that's freaky, isn't it? No. There was another bathroom upstairs. And they got in the elevator, they pushed the second level, it went up. And of course the doors open like it does. And it got out. Nobody was there. So they're like, wow, you know. And they went in to use the bathroom, and I guess her friend must have gotten out or something in the meantime. And she heard her friend saying, "What the?" And she was like, "What?" And she said, "We're on the ground level." Now, they went in the elevator, they pushed the second level, and they felt it go up. The doors opened as if they had, but they were on the ground level. But there was no one there when before there had been 7 girls in line. So, ding dong. And last story is, let's see. They were at now this isn't really like another dimension type of thing, but it's a weird elevator thing. These 2 girls were in an art school. They got on the elevator, and they were on the 3rd floor, and they wanted to go to ground level, right? But as they were on there was a whole crowd of people on there, so they sort of scrunched in there. And it went up to the 4th level, and a door opened. Nobody came in, and nobody came out, but the button had been pushed. And I think this, again, it was only pushed up to the 4th level. I'm not sure if it was only 4 levels. So it went back, and it stopped at 2. The doors opened. Nobody got out. And they're looking around at this time, and all the students are just, and they're kind of joking and thinking, you know, out loud, talking to each other out loud about how weird this is. And there's no reaction whatsoever from the students. Now, some of these kids, they said they had in their class, so they knew them, but they were almost like zombies, you know. So they thought, well, I guess they all want to go to the 1st floor ground level like we do. So it goes down to the ground level, and as they get out, thinking a rush of people are going to be behind them. Nope, they stay on. The door closes. Weird. Oh, I bet maybe you have a story, a strange story of elevators and other dimension and portals, or just some freaky people you've seen on an elevator. There are probably many, many different things you could see, or paranormal experiences you can have on an elevator. Sure, I would want to experience it, but you can't. But anyway. So, definitely a different view the next time I go in an elevator, I imagine I'll have, right? I wish everyone a wonderful, yes, it's hard to believe it's going to be Camel Day tomorrow. A wonderful Camel Day ahead. And over and out.